Part 1. Opening Hook and Introduction. Look, here's the most frustrating thing about the financial independence, retire early, FIRE movement. You've done the math. You've hit the infamous 4% rule target. You have the $1 million or $2 million in the bank. You're ready to send that email, walk out the door, and finally be free. But then you get this paralyzing cold shot of anxiety. You check your portfolio 5 times a day. You find excuses to delay. Just one more year for a safe buffer. You're financially independent, but you can't quit. You're suffering from the last mile problem of FIRE. You successfully ran a marathon, but you're standing frozen 5 feet from the finish line. You're not alone. The hardest part of the FIRE journey isn't the saving. It's the psychological leap, the shift from a life of accumulation to a life of spending. And if you're still in the trenches, years away from that problem, struggling just to save anything, you're likely budgeting backward. You're budgeting for scarcity, not freedom. Today, we are solving both problems. The last mile problem of FIRE, the dangerous psychological trap that prevents millionaires from quitting their jobs, and how to overcome the fear of spending. The reverse budget, the easiest, most powerful way to handle money, if you're already broke or feel like a budgeting failure, by using your fun money first to guarantee long-term success. My name is John, and I spend way too much time thinking about the psychological traps that make smart people fail at finance. If you're someone who feels stuck in the rat race no matter how much you earn, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Let's solve the paradox of financial freedom. Part 2. The last mile problem of FIRE. Here's what most people don't realize about the FIRE journey. It is a system built on deprivation and accumulation. You spend 10 to 15 years developing an identity around saving, cutting, optimizing, and refusing to spend. You train your brain to see any dollar spent as a delay to freedom. Then, you hit the number, the magic multiple of 25 times your annual expenses, and the system demands you perform a psychological U-turn at 60 miles per hour. Your brain refuses to let go of the scarcity mindset. This is the last mile problem. The psychology, identity loss, and the scarcity mindset. There are 3 core psychological forces keeping you stuck. Loss of identity. For 15 years, your job defined your structure, your status, and your social circle. When you quit, your standard answer to "what do you do?" disappears. This creates profound feelings of emptiness and anxiety. Look at the statistics. Many early retirees report struggling with a loss of purpose and social isolation after quitting. Work provides structure, and when it's gone, that structure is replaced by boundless, intimidating free time. The fear of decumulation. You spent years focused on that compounding curve, watching your net worth grow exponentially. Now, you have to do the unthinkable. Withdraw the money. Every withdrawal feels like a mistake. This is the reverse compounding fear. You are afraid of the intersection point where your withdrawal rate exceeds your growth rate. Example, you need $60,000 per year. Your portfolio is $1.5 million. You know the math says it's safe. But when the market dips 15%, that $60,000 withdrawal suddenly feels like $100,000 in lost growth potential. The wealthy refer to this as the "oh my God, I'm spending it" syndrome. 3. Miscalculating future expenses, projection bias. Now you might be thinking, just calculate a bigger buffer. But research shows we tend to assume our future selves will be similar to our current selves. This is projection bias. The mistake. You retired based on a $50,000 budget, but you didn't factor in a new passion project that costs $10,000 a year, or the sudden realization that you need to travel to maintain social contact. The reality check. Future expenses, especially health care before Medicare and changes in housing needs, are almost always underestimated. You need adequate planning for health care, which can be prohibitively expensive for younger retirees. Actionable step. The pre-retirement soft launch. You beat the last mile problem by killing the scarcity mindset before you quit. Trial your spending. For the final year, practice spending your fire budget. Use your passive income or savings to fund all of your wants that your current job funds instead of saving that money. This trains your brain to accept the expenditure. Trial your purpose. Go part-time or take a 3-month sabbatical. Test out your post-work identity. What fills your time? What creates social contact? You must find purpose before you quit the job that provides structure. Part 3. The reverse budget. The easiest way to handle money. Now, let's go back to the beginning. If you're stressed, broke, or feel like every traditional budgeting system has failed you, it's not because you lack discipline. It's because those systems are built on a flawed psychological premise. Traditional budgeting starts with restriction. You allocate money to rent, bills, groceries, and debt, and then you try to save what's left. What's left? Zero. This leads to shame and failure. We need to flip the script. This is the reverse budget, a method so simple it fights your own psychology. The core concept: pay yourself first, spend the rest. Guilt-free, the reverse budget, often called the pay yourself first method, is powerful because it automates the long-term win and removes the guilt from the short-term spend. Here's the thing. It simplifies budgeting because you focus on only one number, your savings rate, and everything else becomes a simple boundary. The mechanics fight psychology, not willpower. This is the 3-step flow, and the timing is everything. Step 1. Set the freedom number, savings first. Decide on your freedom number, the fixed percentage or dollar amount you must save for future you. Let's say you make $4,000 per month after tax, and you target a 20% savings rate. Your freedom number is $800. Step 2. Automate the disappearance. This is where it gets really interesting. On the day your paycheck hits your account, you set up automatic transfers for that $800 to your savings, Roth IRA, or investment account. The money must disappear before you have a chance to see it as spendable cash. Analogy. Think of this as building a fence around your future. Once the money is behind the fence, your brain treats your paycheck as if it were only $3,200 from the start. You can't accidentally spend money that's not there. Step 3. Spend guilt-free, the reverse budget magic. Whatever remains, the $3,200, is now your guilt-free spending money. It covers rent, utilities, food, and yes, your fun money. You don't need a spreadsheet tracking every single coffee. Your checking account balance becomes your natural guardrail. If you run out of money, you can't buy the thing. The simplicity is the point. Address viewer objection. Now you might be thinking, what if I'm already broke? What if I have high interest debt? Here's the thing. You modify the system. Your savings line doesn't just go to a low-interest savings account. It goes to your highest interest debt repayment first. The pay-yourself-first mentality becomes pay your freedom first, whether that's saving for retirement or eliminating the anchor of debt. Part 4. Storytelling and the mathematics of the pivot. Let me tell you about two real people, Sarah and Mark. Both earn $75,000 per year. Sarah, the traditional budgeter. Sarah is a master spreadsheet warrior. She uses zero-based budgeting, tracking every coffee, every dinner. She allocates $1,500 rent, $500 debt, $800 groceries, $500 utilities, and she intends to save the remaining $700. The problem, the budget is fragile. One unexpected vet bill, or just a bad mood, and she overspends on discretionary by $300. That $300 has to come out of the only flexible category left, savings. The psychology. She feels immense shame and eventually quits budgeting because it feels like a painful, constant failure. After 1 year, she saved a sporadic $5,000. Mark, the reverse budgeter. Mark honestly is lazy. He hates spreadsheets. He heard about the reverse budget. He set his freedom number at 15% of his gross income, or about $950 per month, after adjusting for taxes. The action: on payday, $950 is automatically transferred to his investment account. He never sees it. The result? He has no idea how much he spends on groceries versus takeout. But he physically cannot overspend past his available checking balance. His savings goal is guaranteed. At the end of the year, he's saved a guaranteed $11,400. The revelation: Mark, who hates budgeting, saved more than twice as much as Sarah, the budget master, simply because he removed the willpower equation from the system. This is the central revelation. The mathematical precision of a traditional budget is less important than the psychological consistency of a reverse budget. The mathematics of the FIRE pivot. This philosophy, automating the win and trusting the guardrail, is how you also solve the last mile problem. When you reach FIRE, your pay-yourself-first money flips. It's no longer the money leaving your paycheck, it's the money staying in your investments. The new reverse budget: automate the stay-put amount. Your portfolio must earn, say, 7% this year. That money is automatically reinvested. This is your new savings first. Withdraw the fun money, the drawdown. You only withdraw the precise annual amount you need, the $60,000. This withdrawal is your new guilt-free spending money. You are replacing the old automated discipline with a new automated discipline. This is how you change your identity from a saver to a spender without compromising your safety. Part 5. The motivation and actionable final steps. Look, the biggest secret to financial freedom is that it's not a number, it's a mindset. You need to switch from a mindset of scarcity to a mindset of safety with freedom. Actionable steps. Recap. For the broke, budget hater, immediately implement the reverse budget. Set up the automatic transfer for your freedom number. Start at 10% and work up. Do it tonight. Fight psychology, not willpower. For the fire chaser, the last mile problem. Start your pre-retirement soft launch now. Use your portfolio gains to fund non-essential spending for 6 months to test your withdrawal comfort and start building a post-work identity. For everyone, recognize that purpose is non-negotiable. Early retirement is not a 30-year vacation. It's a 30-year weekend. You need a purpose to fill that time, or the financial freedom you fought so hard for will feel empty. Part 6. The comparison tax, the hidden cost of keeping up. We'll finish with the most emotionally taxing, wealth-destroying expense you will ever pay, the comparison tax. This isn't an official government levy. This is the tax you impose on yourself by playing the ridiculous, impossible game of keeping up with the Joneses. The psychology, reference points, and social status humans are driven by relative wealth, not absolute wealth. We don't care that we have more than 99% of the world. We care that our coworker, our neighbor, or the person we follow on Instagram has a slightly newer car or a slightly bigger kitchen. This social pressure creates a hidden tax. Every dollar you spend on a status symbol, a luxury watch, a premium SUV, or an expensive vacation you can't truly afford is a payment against your desire for social validation. The cost. This comparison tax forces you to violate both the reverse budget, by increasing that spending number, and makes you susceptible to lifestyle creep, because your new baseline is constantly rising. The math, the true cost of status. Let's quantify the financial damage of comparison. You upgrade your perfectly good $30,000 car to a $60,000 luxury SUV just because your boss got one. The true cost, over 20 years. That extra $30,000 loan, invested for 20 years at 7%, would have become over $116,000. You paid a $116,000 comparison tax just to look slightly more successful to people who likely aren't even paying attention to your car. Actionable step, the value arbitrage. You eliminate the comparison tax by implementing value arbitrage, separating your internal value from your external status. Define your true value. Identify the things that genuinely bring you lasting satisfaction and support your FIRE goals, e.g., freedom, time, health, unique experiences. Arbitrage, the spending. Spend aggressively on the things that support your value, e.g., high-quality food, a trainer, travel that broadens your perspective. Be ruthlessly cheap on the things that only convey status, e.g., designer labels, the newest gadgets, brand new cars. Find a new reference group. Stop comparing yourself to people who optimize for appearance. Start comparing yourself to people who optimize for time and freedom, i.e., other people who are aggressively pursuing FIRE or living deliberately. Here's the kicker. The truly wealthy, the people who actually have financial independence, often spend the least on visible status symbols. They are past the need for social validation. They seek low-profile utility because their identity is secured by their freedom, not their possessions. That freedom is the ultimate status symbol, and it's completely tax-free. Part 7. The happiness cliff. The point where more money stops working. All right, we've tackled the financial saboteurs, creep, comparison, and the last mile problem. Now let's talk about the biggest intellectual trap of the accumulation phase, the happiness cliff. You're constantly told, earn more, save more, compound more. And for most people, that's true. Going from $25,000 to $75,000 in income drastically improves life quality. Less stress, better health, more security. But that connection between money and happiness doesn't last forever. The psychology, diminishing marginal utility. Economists call this the diminishing marginal utility of money. In plain English, the 100th dollar you earn brings you more joy than the millionth. Famous research from Princeton University has repeatedly found a happiness cliff. While the specific number shifts with inflation and location, the principle is constant. Once you reach a certain level of income, enough to comfortably cover basic needs, pay off debt, and provide security. Earning more money stops making you significantly happier. In many Western studies, that number historically hovered around $75,000 to $90,000 in annual household income. Beyond that point, increased income often corresponds with increased stress, longer hours, and less time for the things that actually drive long-term fulfillment: relationships, health, purpose. The math, the opportunity cost of chasing the peak. This is where it gets really interesting. Chasing the extra $50,000 in salary might require you to work 60 hours a week instead of 40. Take a job with a terrible commute. Sacrifice gym time and time with your family. You gained $50,000 taxable dollars, but you paid an opportunity cost in the non-renewable resources of time and health. The trap. If you're already earning $150,000 and you push for a $250,000 job, the extra $100,000 is mostly going toward higher taxes, a marginal increase in lifestyle. Hedonic adaptation kicks in immediately, and a permanent increase in stress. The revelation. If you are below the happiness cliff, chase the income aggressively. If you are above it, chase the time aggressively. Actionable a step, the time trade audit. Identify your cliff. Determine the income level that covers your expenses and your savings goal without stress. Audit the cost. When offered a raise or promotion, don't ask, how much extra money? Ask, how much extra time will this cost me? If the money is above your identified happiness cliff, prioritize the job that offers maximum flexibility and minimum stress over the one that offers maximum dollars. You arbitrage income for time.